1. Readiness is built through action. We often wait for the perfect moment, a time when we finally feel ready, confident, and certain. We tell ourselves that once we have enough knowledge, resources, or courage, then we will begin. But the truth is, readiness does not appear before action. It grows through experience. The first step is not the result of confidence. It is the cause of it. Every skill, every success, every improvement begins with movement, not perfection. Life rarely gives us ideal conditions. There will always be uncertainty, hesitation, and a part of us that feels unprepared. But progress starts the moment we decide to act despite those feelings. Each small effort teaches us something that waiting never will. The path becomes clearer only when we walk it. The Stoics understood this deeply. They taught that we cannot control when we feel ready, but we can control when we begin. Action is what builds readiness, courage, and strength over time. If you wait for everything to feel perfect, you may wait forever. Start now, however small the step may be, because readiness is not something found. It is something built through doing. 2. Waiting is not protection, it is avoidance. Many people believe that waiting protects them, that by delaying action they are avoiding mistakes or failure. But in reality, waiting often hides fear. It can feel safe to postpone decisions, to tell yourself that the timing isn't right yet. However, every moment spent waiting quietly takes away opportunities that could have helped you grow. Time keeps moving even when we don't. We often call it being cautious or wise, but most of the time it's simply avoiding discomfort. Action requires effort, and effort often feels uncertain or uncomfortable. Yet that is exactly where progress begins. Growth happens when we face reality and take steps forward, not when we stand still hoping for a better moment. The Stoic philosophers reminded us that delay has a cost. When we hold back out of fear, we trade the possibility of progress for the comfort of inaction. Life does not reward endless preparation. It rewards participation. Each small action, even if imperfect, builds experience and confidence. Waiting may feel like safety, but it only keeps you where you are. The only real protection comes from learning through action and choosing movement over hesitation. Clarity and confidence come. After movement, many people wait to feel confident or completely certain before starting something new. They believe that once they understand everything, they'll finally be ready to begin. But true clarity and confidence do not appear before action. They develop through it. Each step you take gives you new information, experience, and understanding. Movement creates perspective that thought alone cannot provide. Confidence grows when you try, make adjustments, and continue learning. It is not something that arrives fully formed. It is built through practice. Even small actions have the power to reduce fear and increase self-trust. When you move forward, you begin to see what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change. This is how direction and confidence naturally grow. The Stoics believed that courage is not a feeling you wait for. It's a choice made in the presence of uncertainty. By taking thoughtful action, you develop the strength to handle challenges as they come. Waiting for perfect understanding often leads to endless hesitation. Acting, on the other hand, leads to clarity. Begin with what you know now. Confidence and direction will follow once you are already moving. 4. The Stoic path is action, not waiting. Stoicism teaches that life is not something to wait through, but something to engage with. The Stoics believed that we should act with the resources and understanding we already have, rather than wait for perfect conditions. They saw that waiting for the right time often becomes a reason to avoid the present moment. True strength, they taught, is using what is within your control right now. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, began his philosophical journey after losing everything in a shipwreck. Instead of waiting for stability to return, he used his hardship as a starting point for growth. Cleanthes worked at night carrying water while studying philosophy during the day. Musonius Rufus continued to teach even in exile. None of them waited for comfort or certainty. They acted with discipline and purpose wherever they were. Their lives remind us that meaningful action does not require perfect timing. Progress begins when we do our best with what we have. The Stoic way is not about hoping that circumstances will change first. It is about changing ourselves through steady effort. When you act with calm intention, life gradually responds to your movement. Time moves forward. Whether you act or not, time never pauses to match our readiness. While we wait for the right moment, time continues to move quietly forward. Days turn into weeks and weeks into years, often without us realizing how much has passed. We sometimes tell ourselves that waiting is wise or that we are simply being patient, but in many cases, waiting becomes a way to avoid taking the next step. The Stoic philosopher Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short life, but that we waste much of it." His words remind us that life's length is less important than how we use it. Every day spent hesitating is a day that could have been used to learn, to build, or to move closer to something meaningful. Time will pass whether we act or not. The difference is what we create within that time. Each small, consistent effort adds value to our days, while inaction quietly takes that opportunity away. You don't need to rush, but you do need to begin. Using time wisely means choosing progress over delay. Life doesn't wait for perfect timing. It rewards those who move with steady purpose, even through uncertainty. Knowledge without action changes. Nothing learning and preparing are important, but knowledge alone does not create change. Many people spend years reading, planning, and collecting information, hoping that one day they will finally feel ready to act. But understanding becomes meaningful only when it is applied. Without action, even the best ideas remain untested and unused. The Stoics believed that wisdom is not measured by what we know, but by how we live. Seneca warned that learning for its own sake can become a form of delay. We study endlessly instead of putting lessons into practice. Action transforms knowledge into skill and experience. Each step, even if small, teaches more than hours of reflection. Waiting for complete certainty or perfect understanding often leads to stagnation. Real learning happens through engagement with life, through trial, adjustment, and effort. The bridge between where you are and where you want to be is built through consistent action, not constant preparation. So, continue learning, but let learning guide your steps, not replace them. Knowledge becomes power only when it shapes behavior. Move forward with what you already know, and you will discover that understanding deepens through doing, not waiting. Begin before you feel ready. Many people wait for a perfect signal before they start, a sign that tells them the time is right. But the truth is, such a moment rarely arrives. Motivation and courage often appear after you begin, not before. The first step is usually the hardest because it asks you to move without complete confidence. Yet once you start, momentum begins to build naturally. The Stoics taught that progress depends on action, not comfort. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite uncertainty. Every person who has achieved growth began before feeling completely prepared. They learned by doing, by taking one step and then the next. Waiting for perfect confidence often means never beginning at all. When you take the first step, you begin to build the strength and understanding that you've been waiting for. Each small effort creates clarity and direction. The longer you delay, the more difficult it becomes to start. Life changes through consistent movement, not through endless planning. Begin where you are with what you have and allow confidence to grow through experience. The right time is not found, it is created through action.